My name is Fernando Medina, and welcome to another episode in our Into the Flow podcast. Hey, Flomies, how's it going? Fernando Medina with Pro Windows Incorporated in Los Angeles, California, and welcome to today's episode. Today we have not one but two special guests, Crystal and Alex Zumbado from A Better View in San Diego, California. Say hello, guys.
Hey, guys.
All right, so we want to learn a little bit more about you guys, and we want to know your life story as far as what A Better View is. And for starters, let me point out how good those uniforms look on you guys. You guys really stand out. I love them.
Thanks, Fernando.
No, you're welcome. But I'm glad that you guys are out there standing out and making a difference in San Diego. So pretty much we just want to learn a little bit more about you guys. I know we've met a couple of times at the J. Racingstein safety classes, soft wash classes, and not sure what plenty classes that they provided. And I met you guys last year, I think it was. And we want to get to know you guys a little bit better. So whoever feels like they want to start off the conversation, feel free to let us know now, or you can raise your hand, however you guys like.
Okay, so first of all, we want to talk about how we got into window cleaning.
Yeah.
And I think we have a pretty good story about how that happened. I grew up in the cleaning industry in a way. I grew up cleaning boats with my dad, and then I got into some yacht detail, and it's something that I just learned how to do. And if anyone knows a boat owner, they're very particular.
Very.
And so I got that end of it. And then also what my father taught me, he's a really hard worker, and he still works on a boat. And I got my work ethic from him. Sometime around junior high, California changed from year-round school to summer school, to having the summers off. And as soon as that started, my parents were like, well, you're not going to have 2.5, 3 months off just not doing anything. You're going to go work with your dad. And so since the age of 12 or 13, I'd spend the summers going to the boat, waxing, doing teak, polishing metal, and just washing boats and just helping them with different things. So it was something that I just learned how to do, how to work my hands, and it's just something that I did. And it was something really on the side.
Right.
And then I was in Florida. We were living in Florida for about 3 years. We had moved because I'm from San Diego, born and raised, and we ended up meeting in Florida, and we went back and forth once. And we moved back to Florida, and we were there for about 3 years. And I was working at the airport. I was a sky cap. It was a great job, but that was a seasonal job. So during the off season, I would go back to cleaning boats. It was something that I learned how to do. It was something that came easy to me. It was hard work for some people, but for me, it was easy.
Right.
So when we moved back to San Diego, I decided to do that. I was like, all right, I know people in the industry. I got my dad as a shoe-in, and I'm going to start building my book of business, and I'm going to get into yacht detail, and it's what I'm going to do. And I needed something on the side. Right. So I just went looking for work, and I found window cleaning, and I was like, okay, I could probably do this. And I got hired by a local company here in San Diego. And I quickly learned really fast that I was very detailed, and I just knew how to do a really good job. And I was sort of outworking everyone. And I realized very fast that I could do this on my own, that it was easy to do. I wasn't coming home covered in compound dust and being in the sun in front of a fiberglass boat all day, coming home burnt and covered in different chemicals. And although there's great money in yacht detail, this came like so easy to me. I was coming home, and I was, making some money, and I was like, I could do this on my own. So I came home one day after about 8 months of working at this local company, and I said, we got to do this on our own, and we never looked back. So, but it's been a long,
it's been
a long journey. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot of lessons. We've fallen a whole bunch of times, but we've kept on getting up, and we kept working hard.
That's a good thing, because I can kind of relate to that, back to the 12, 13-year age, working with family. My story is similar. You guys will learn about it a little later during my interview with another of the admins of the group. But those are strong ways of starting up a business when you have, I'm not sure, I can't really speak for everyone, but coming from a Hispanic culture, we work like super hard, and I don't know if it's just that want to push us out to work or something and just say, hey,
Mhm.
get out there and work. But
Yeah.
those ethics that you build when you're gonna you want to do a professional work, you know, like you want to stand out, you want to be that top of the line guy.
Mhm.
It's made me stronger. You know, I started working in the same age too. But were you in the same business, Crystal, when you back when he was visiting you in San Diego, or was he just visiting San Diego just to come see you? Oh no,
No,
wait, Florida, right? I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm from
Oh,
Florida originally. We ended up meeting in Florida, and you know, like he said, we kind of went back and forth. But and I was kind of doing like some odd jobs, and it's funny is when he came home and said, you know, I got a job as a window cleaner. I kind of thought people pay for that, like
Yeah, I know,
I can
right?
do that. But he came home and you know cleaned it, and I was sold.
Yeah.
So and then his work ethic that he has just blown me away. So
Wow.
definitely followed him on that.
Wow, that's a really good interest. So your windows at home, they stay clean now, right? Is that part of the process, or am I the only one that only schedules it once a year?
I'm still waiting for my yearly cleaning.
Okay, yeah. My wife gets on me on the same time, you know, like, hey, when are you going to clean the window? I'm like,
Right.
We clean a couple of windows.
my curtains are always closed, so you know what? I think
Yeah.
no, but yeah, we should. You know, it's funny that you know you work in the industry, but then you come home and you don't even look at your own window. I guess we're just tired of looking at glass
You don't
all
want to
day.
deal with it when you get home. You're like,
Yeah, like you know, I
forget
just take my shoes off and all that. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So after you were working doing your yacht detailing and all that, and you decided to you started doing window cleaning on the side for X amount of times. How long did you work it on the side? Like saying like, hey, I'm gonna do this. You learn pretty fast. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
How fast before you said, hey, I'm gonna start my own business, or what got you to getting saying like, I'm gonna dedicate more time to the window cleaning side compared to doing the yacht business, or did you see it more profitable? What made you change your mind on it?
No, that's a good question. So I got into the window cleaning right before it got busy because they had put out the ad, and so they were advertising for a reason. So I caught on quick. I became one of their favorites really fast,
Yeah.
and they actually brought me up to the highest percentage of payout that they paid out really quickly because they liked me a lot,
Right.
and they really also made me their quality control like super fast.
Right.
So they were sending me out to jobs where people had not come through, or things were missing, or people weren't happy. So I found myself doing the window cleaning and then some of that work. That came pretty natural to me. But it I soon realized that I was staying pretty busy, and
Yeah.
then it got slow, and they tried to keep me, and they did keep me. I was there, but I wasn't getting all, we were not all getting the work that we were expecting.
Right.
So I felt like that was our window to jump in, and that was in 2008. So we've been in business for 13 years now,
All
going
right.
on 13 years. Yeah. So, and that was like right when the economy,
Crashed.
took a dive.
Yeah.
So we literally started, you can say at the worst times, but we've progressively just gotten better and better. We've never had a year, thank God, where we've done worse, where we've
Wow.
gone back, or where we have regressed.
Right.
So I just wanted to say something real quick,
Yeah.
going back on it. I feel like a lot of it was about me, and when we got started and what got us into it. I want to say that I would come home and I would deliver these ideas to Crystal, and I feel like it's been our dream, and she has done so much behind the scenes that I could have never ever done. She
Right.
has put her both feet forward and just
Right.
continue to like do things and change things, and she's been such a huge part of what A Better View is. It literally is a 50-50 proposition. I like to say 51-49.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's just the right thing to do.
Mhm.
I just do, because she
I
works
like
so
that
hard.
too.
Right.
She's the voice that people hear on the phone, and
Right.
and really I'm just there to close.
Yeah.
I'm just there to close, and I have to do my end. But a lot of times people will tell me how great Crystal is, and she's really and we do on-site estimates. We really like doing that, and it's really one of our strengths, I believe. We like doing on-site estimates. For us, it's better. Everyone's on the same page, and then they get to meet her, and then they eventually get to meet me. So I think it's a huge. She's a huge part of it. I might have been the one who came home and said, "This is what we need to do," but all I did was just toss it up, and she's really the one who just knocks it out of the park. So,
I was excited. I was like, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
it was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super scary.
I could imagine it. And you know what? We started Pro Windows back in 2008 ourselves, right before the recession. Before we jump off track, how did you, being a new business, what did you learn from that recession? You know, as far as, you know, how much business was coming in, or how much savings that you spend starting up your business? How did you adapt to that compared to now that we're dealing with COVID-19? Resources are, you know, jobs are getting taken away from people. Window cleaning, at first we were all shocked that, hey, is this going to be an essential business? We adapted in so many ways. How did you guys, what did you learn back from the 2008 recession to now, and what did you implement into this in order for you guys to be successful in your business now?
I think just being available as much as possible to our customers, you know, just. I think
Well, we had we almost had zero to,
well, right.
you know, any customers back then.
Yeah.
So it was like it was tough. It was tough back then. But I think just the fact that we did it at that time and that we had the guts to do it, I think maybe we thrive in some sort of chaos, I think.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because we've talked about that even during this COVID time.
Right.
I think a lot of people got really scared. We got scared. We were like, what's going to happen? And, you know, from one day to the next, we keep on hearing news through the IWCA, how they were advocating for window cleaning to be an essential business.
Right.
And then just being more grown up. I mean, we were kids when we started. We literally were. I mean, we weren't kids, but we were babies to business.
Right.
And now it was more, we had more courage, and we did pivot. We literally began to think in a different way and say, well, what can we do? We stormed our customers with emails saying that we were available, and that we were taking all the protocols. We took sanitation more seriously.
Right.
So I hope I'm not getting off track, but what we did is we purchased an atomizer. We went ahead and we purchased some products. We ended up choosing vinyl oxide. I think we could have chosen a variety of it's just the one we landed on. It was local. It was able to be given to us in a large quantity I think at a pretty good price. So we just pulled the trigger, and then we started advertising on that. And since then, I mean, we just got a sanitizing fogging job at a daycare, and it stems from the jobs that we've done and the advertising that we've done from that. So I think, to answer your question, I think we've done pretty good. I think that we've done pretty good. We adapted, and we didn't get stressed out. We didn't get scared. We sort of just, you know, turned our hat around and
what
said,
do we need to do? Let's do that.
Exactly. No, and I feel you guys the same way too, you know, and it's impressive how, you know, we get all this knowledge, and from other, you know, IWCA is one of the companies out there that provides a lot. There's a lot of people in the group that provide a lot of resources and all that. And I'm really grateful for that. And the reason we created that group was just to get more information from all of the groups that are out there. You know, there's some, you go in, you ask a question. Sometimes you get some funny comments, you know, when you're actually either, to you, it might be a good question, but to them, it's like, oh, this is a really dumb question, you know, let me respond like that. But I got to say, into the group, Into the Flow, is they're full of people that are full of knowledge. And there might be that one little thing we are missing, and somebody else might have it. So when we go in there and we ask a serious question, I mean, you're going to get tons of feedback and all that. And going back to the IWCA, you guys are not members of the IWCA yet, right? But you guys are aware of it.
Nope.
Yeah, so that's another thing that when you guys go out to that, being in the window cleaning business, you're going to get a lot of resources out of that, a lot of information. You know, I've been to, I think, 3 different conventions on the pressure washing side. I think I'm going to do another one, but I'm not sure yet. But IWCA, I've been going since 2007. It's amazing. I can really say, hey, anybody that asks, you know, like, hey, what convention should I attend to? If they run a window cleaning business, I say, go to this one. You know, go try it out, see what they have, and go from there. Another thing, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so when the IWCA advocated for the window cleaning business during the pandemic, I think it's what brought I remember reading those posts and saying, wow, they're literally going to bat for me.
Oh, yeah.
Right. they're going to bat for all of us.
Yeah.
And I've heard people knock the IWCA, and I've heard a lot of people praise it. I think for us, it was the turning point. Although we haven't joined yet, I think it's definitely something we're going to do. I know it's something that we're going to do.
January, and in January they're going to be here in Las Vegas too. So that's really right outside. Last year was this year? Yeah, this year was in Savannah. The previous year it was right in your neighborhood in San Diego too.
San Diego, yeah.
I was there for 5 days, and actually I think it was a smaller convention there. I'm not sure why, but yeah, we noticed the difference that it was a little smaller.
We'll drive up there and he can take us. We'll go in the big.
Yeah, we can go out there. I was actually
Big Blue, right? We'll drive up there in Big Blue.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness! Imagine how much fuel I'm gonna spend on that thing. I'll probably just might as well rent a jet. I'll probably be sitting this thing. Yeah, I mean we can take Big Blue out there.
Totally kidding.
I was gonna backtrack a little bit just to get a little bit more information on Crystal here. But when you guys say that you guys, I mean, you're a team business, and obviously, you know, it's a 51-49%. You do most of the work out in the field, and you handle everything that comes in through those phones, you know, from angry customers to happy customers to complaints or, hey, I want this, I want that. And then I know that feeling, you know, that rush. But looking at it from a client side, I can imagine the joy you guys bring to people, because if they love you over the phone and then they love you in the field, and then you come out to a new customer that recommended them to you, and they get to meet both of you guys, what are your experiences on that? Like, you know, how can you obviously you would probably win the customer just by their feedback.
It's funny, we get it all the time where, you know, like Alex,
we love Crystal,
or they'll get a call. Alex is so wonderful. He's the best. You're a lucky girl.
Yeah,
get it all the time.
So
it's
I get the I'm a lucky guy a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're down there like,
how did you do that? What did you do? Or don't screw it up. Right.
I'm professional. I detail everything really well, so I'm on point, right?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well, you know what? I'm really happy for you guys. I'm glad you guys are pivoting really well, and that's a good. I think most of the conversations out there, or a lot of the questions that are coming from small business owners or people that are just starting up, is how do we become successful in this business, or how do we move forward? What have besides the sanitation part? What other services are you guys providing? Obviously, besides the window cleaning services that you do in San Diego, that allows you to still go out there and provide the services during this pandemic. What services you guys offer?
Well, with soft washing too, we're gearing towards commercial, you know, exterior sanitizing as well. So that's really brought a light on just being clean in general. So that's really opened the door.
Mm-hmm.
Soft washing.
I think soft washing was one of the things that we pulled the trigger on 3 years ago. Right. We bought our first system, and that was a huge. I mean, that was in itself a risk for us, because we were dropping a decent amount of coin on something that we weren't exactly sure. And soft washing in Southern California, in California in general, really isn't something. There's not a lot of people to feed off of. Right. We were noticing that a lot of it was the Midwest, the South, and we felt so far away from it. But me having attention to detail, I would see roofs, I would see exteriors, and we had been pressure washing for a little bit. We started off with the Home Depot pressure washer. We literally started, like, we leveled up along the way. And then we eventually got, and then eventually we got a 4,200 PSI, a 4.5 gallon per minute. We went to Hotsy, we got a good one. And then from there, we're like, okay, well, we're not really cleaning certain things. There's certain things that we can't achieve, and it's just soft washing seemed like a good risk to take. And I'm really happy that we did it. And we learned along the way. There was actually, 3 years ago, there was no booklet that said this is how you soft wash. The things that they would tell you over the phone when they would sell it to you were very basic. And we'd ask some questions on some of the groups, and some of the feedback was positive, some of the feedback was negative. Some of it, I just, it was just such a big
trial and error, playing around with it. And
it was a huge learning curve for us. And the truth is, we're still learning. We're going to learn something at our next soft washing job.
Oh yeah.
But along the way, we're still learning things, and we still have a really long way to go. But soft washing was the one thing that really opened our eyes to be able to do bigger jobs. high ticket jobs, you know, there's more money in that, especially if you know how to market it and know how to promote it. And then especially when you deliver and people see it, people are really blown away. I think we've had more impressed customers via the soft washing than the window cleaning.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You know, being in the same business, and when it came to soft washing, when I got into that myself, you know, like I said, I didn't know. I did a little bit of research before I started getting into it, and I was like, soft washing pretty much replaces your pressure cleaning to homes, because that was the way that we knew back then. When I started back in '04 working for a window cleaning company, hey, we're gonna wash a home, grab the pressure washer, and there we are, blasting away concrete, stucco. Who knew better, right? Then years down the road, the soft wash, I learned of it. I think it was through like some YouTube videos or things like that. You know, like soft washing. I'm like, so what are they doing? They're applying. So I got read up on it, and next thing you know, which means that soft washing, adding it into your business, that means you're properly, professionally cleaning a home the proper way, the way it's supposed to, and leaving it there. And it is a learning experience. You do learn on every single job. You know, and that same thing with window cleaning. When you first started, you're like, oh, how long is it going to take me to do this? How long is it going to take me to do that? You'll start learning every type of home. How am I going to access? Same thing with soft washing. The important thing is with soft washing that you need to know what chemicals to mix together. You cannot mix, you know, or if you're using the same tank, you got to make sure you rinse that thing out. And if you're going to put something else in it, or, you know, have dedicated tanks for that. But other than that, I mean, well, it's really good. I see you guys' Instagram page, and I see when you guys go live. I see more Crystal live than you. So maybe that's where the promotional thing is at. Like she's, hey,
I'm too busy working.
I see you in the background, like doing this. And,
that's right.
I'm putting them to work.
hey, somebody's got to do the hard labor, and you know what? You're a good man for that. You know, not a lot of business owners. I've seen some that, you know, they're both on the job, you know, and you sit there and wonder. I still haven't moved to the position where I have somebody in my office. You know, I'm remotely, so I'm answering emails, I'm answering phone calls. I think that's something I probably should do already. But, you know, just that perfectionist thing, you know, even if I do hire someone to do that, I'm probably going to come back. Yeah, I'm going to come back and look in. Did you do this right? It's just that worry. But eventually I'll probably get to it. And I would consider that. But well, that's I'm really happy that you guys are doing a lot with your business. And what's up with these shirts? It's like it's a whole new you guys. The last time I seen you guys, I was like, whoa, look at that! Like, you know, like they're really impressive, man.
As far as the shirts go, I think it sort of echoes a lot of the things that we've gotten from you. So just so that anyone who's watching this should know is if you have any questions, you should reach out to Fernando or other people in the group that you know are reliable. Yeah. But I just want to thank you, Fernando, because you've been a huge source of inspiration. You've been a source of information. If you don't have an answer to a question, you'll change into a different gear and you'll try to find me that answer. And you've never ever made me feel dumb for asking a question. And so you're just a great source of information. And I just want to thank you for that. And FinPrint is one of those things. So we saw your shirts and we're like, man, you know what? Our shirt situation was like this. It's been up and down. We've done jackets. We've done all sorts of printing. We've spent a lot of money on articles of clothing, and we just never seem to find what we want. You know, we'll sort of settle on something on a shirt, and we'll move on. But when I saw your shirts, I was like, man, that's something that really is going to grab a customer's attention.
And it has already.
And right away, I was like, that's something that we could do. That's something that sort of like fits our mold. It fits our style. I know that these shirts might not be everyone's sort of thing. Yeah. But for us, we're like, okay, this is something that we need to do. And I think it sort of speaks to our level of service. Yeah. I mean, we really do consider ourselves a premium company. Oh, yeah. Everything from the moment the phone is answered to when we step out the door and we're done with the work, and everything in between, everything is premium. If you want to know more details, we can talk about that later, but everything from putting on shoe booties and tarps and the way we present ourselves, we're like, we need to really look that part. We need to look what we are. And these shirts are that. So we reached out to FinPrint. The process was really long. I was actually surprised. I was expecting, I was super excited. I sent in you know, I mean, before you even start the design process, they let you know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
And we're like, geez, Louise, 6 weeks. And it was 6 weeks.
It was.
Yeah, they didn't lie. It was
Yeah.
6 weeks. So it was 6 weeks of just like waiting for our shirts to come in and being excited. And once they got here, we were really happy.
It was worth the wait.
Yeah. So Thin Print did a great job.
Everything else rubbed away, right?
Yeah. Everything was fine. The wait. We had a very positive experience with them. We're getting more things made.
Their customer service is great too.
Yeah. They respond. We're actually having them design a wrap for us next. So they're working on that right now.
Oh, wow.
We're getting some tubular bandanas from them. You know, so yeah, it's gonna look good when it's all done. So
I could imagine. No, they do stand out really good, and that's one thing I'm gonna backtrack to based on all the information you provided. But you know what? I thank you for paying attention. And you know, when it comes to feeding information and knowledge, you know, being a successful business owner, you know, it took me a lot too. I've been the same route that you guys were in. You know, I started with different companies, logo shirts, different this, different that. I had a good cousin of mine in Las Vegas. She started a stitching company, and she volunteered and said, hey, you know what? I know you're starting your business. I'm going to help you out with your shirts. And I'm okay, perfect. You know, yeah. To me, they were like, yeah, I got me a nice polo shirt, you know, but there were cotton, and oh my goodness, out here in Southern California, when we get that heat, it's like, wow, you know. So then I switched shirts, and same thing down the road. My branding there was no branding up there. And just based on the clientele that we were dealing with, I just one day I decided, like, hey, you know what am I going to do? Like, I need to step up my game. And then I think when I went to a convention, I seen almost everybody was wearing these type of shirts, but the colors out there, you know, they're into a whole different industry. It looked more like a NASCAR type theme. And I was like, man, am I like at a NASCAR convention, or are these like NASCAR drivers? But they look cool. They caught my attention, right? So then I thought to myself, okay. So then I asked who did the shirts, and you know, and all that. So they gave me the name, and I looked into their website, and I started looking at their designs, and I was like, I might be able to do something like this. And for us, well, I want to say for myself in Southern California, it's an icebreaker, because you're walking down. If me and my 4 guys are walking down the road or down the street or down the boardwalk when we in our lunch hour, we got people looking at us, and they're like, hey, like what is that? Like, oh my God, I like your shirt. That already broke the ice and gives me the immediate target for me to say, hey, here's my card. Feel free to give us a call. We provide window cleaning. I give them a little quick pitch, right? Oh, definitely. You guys are looking really sharp. And they're like, oh, we don't only just look the look. We actually perform the part, right? So that's our icebreaker for us. And you guys did a really good job with those shirts. I really like them. You know, on your next order, make sure you get one that says Fernando on there, and I'll be more than happy to slap that thing on there. And I'll probably wear it at the next IWCA and take a picture out there and send it out to you guys. But you know, I'm really happy for you guys on that part. Another thing too. Let me see. When it comes to your marketing, things like that, I know you guys are doing. You're obviously stepping up your branding game. How's your marketing going on for, you know, with the COVID-19 thing? Are you guys doing a lot more advertising? Are you being careful with what you're advertising? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're pushing it a lot more, you know, on all the social medias. Yelp has been a big, kind of hesitated with Yelp for a while. You know, I heard some bad things, but it's actually, for the last 2 months, it's, we've invested some money into it, and it's actually, they've done us right. So
I think it varies on the neighborhood or the city that you target, you know, because I've tried Yelp in the past and it didn't help me as much.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, it all depends on the area and all that. What else are you guys? What else are you guys working on as far as, you know, your advertising? Or is it strictly Yelp? Any Facebook or Google ads?
Yes, we do Instagram. We're doing Facebook. I'm also involved with some networking groups as well. So getting out there, just meeting people and face to face. Well, not right now. We're doing the Zoom meetings, but.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge on her part though, because she does do the BNI meetings where we're in a business networking international. And I did that for 2 years, about 2 years back. And that was huge. We gained a lot of customers through there. Members became customers, and then we gained customers via referrals that have been huge today. But now she's doing BNI. And then also we do a lot of we do East County Chamber of Commerce. I've wanted to go do Chula Vista Chamber of Commerce because there's a lot of Latinos there, and I speak Spanish. So I'm thinking I might as well just use my connection with my language and go there and meet new people. To do that, I'd have to, cut back on the time that step back a little bit, and that's hard to do right now. But that's why she's really taken upon that role of doing BNI. But we do the East County Chamber of Commerce. That's been huge. We meet a lot of people there. Those are, and they're fun to do. They have mixers. You meet a lot of people, and we still, since the COVID started, we haven't been able to wear these at the chamber meetings that they have. They have like First Friday breakfasts where they get everyone to come in at a certain location, like at a really nice fancy golf course or something like that. So we're excited to bring these shirts to an event like that, because we already make a good connection with people, but I think this is going to be another add-on.
Yeah. No, you're pretty much a walking billboard with those things on, looking professional at the same time. You can even have, I know I had some made, and I got the some polos, not too much information on it, but just my standard company logo on it with the little quick design on the back to look that professional part, right? But you guys are gonna do, and imagine when you get your wrap.
Right. Yeah. We're really excited about that. We're getting that started. So
we had a wrap on our previous truck.
Yeah.
And we were done with the truck. We got the van, and shame on us for not getting it done. But I think the reason that we didn't was the branding issue. We weren't ready, and we had the chance to pull the trigger a few times, and we paid for some design work, and I just wasn't satisfied. I just wasn't satisfied, and I just moved on.
We didn't want to settle.
Yeah, we just kept on shelving it. So hopefully FinPrint will deliver something that we like. And we have a guy who does lay wrap here in San Diego. His strength really isn't the design. I think actually it is, but just not what we were looking for. But I'm going to use him to lay it down. So we have someone to lay the wrap, and he does really good work. But I think FinPrint will do good. But we were talking about marketing. I mean, these shirts are a huge thing too. Ever since we started to wear them, I'm telling you, a lot more people come and talk to me. People come up to me, and they're like, they already see what we're doing. And it's almost like they're just attracted to it. They're like, okay, these guys look good. They look sharp. And then the way I have the van equipped, the way we have the van equipped, it's just super presentable and clean, and everything's organized. And people are always looking at the van. They're like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. They like what they do. They're having fun while they're working. They look good. And I think that's a huge marketing tool. But there's so much more out there, and she takes care of most of that.
Wow. No, well, that's really good. It's very impressive that you guys are actually heading. And now you're starting to notice the change in your client relations, where you're not really out there looking for the clients. Your branding is doing the work for you, because, even that's the first things that I noticed when I wrapped up my vehicles. Everywhere I went, people, I seen your truck driving down the street. I seen your truck parked over here. I seen your truck parked here. Or I seen your guys and I liked their shirts, and I seen that you guys are for this. I think branding is very important. It can be hard for some, I remember when I first started, it can be hard for people to invest in something, especially on quality shirts like these. But I cannot stop recommending them and say, hey, if you're going to spend $300 on shirts, save yourself another $300. You can probably buy yourself a good half a dozen and go from there. Start building your reputation.
They're gonna last.
Yeah, exactly. They last. And when it comes to advertising, I don't think there's a limit. Unless you're not getting any return. If you're not seeing any return, then maybe you should already stop and evaluate and say, hey, why am I dropping so much money on this? Why am I doing? If I'm not seeing any return, what's going on? These shirts for yourselves, I'm thinking about hiring you guys and just say, just to come out, see you guys hang outside my windows. My wife will probably be all happy and I'm like, hey, you know what?
Finally get your windows clean.
Get the windows clean, and what? It'll be vice versa. We can do the thing. We'll barter. You do my windows, I'll do yours.
There you go.
We'll cross countries like that. But no, I really hope that I get to see you guys up at the IWCA. I'm really almost positive that you guys are going to enjoy that. You're going to benefit a lot from it. The one thing, since my very first IWCA was back in 2007, maybe 2006, and the number one thing that they offer that always keeps me going back is the glass education. Because throughout the years, with temper heated glass, and back in 2006, Glass was never getting scratched. Glass was never an issue. Glass, we can come up to a window, scrape everything that was on it, and without having any issues. Compared to now, every time I go to, the first thing I look at is what day do they have the glass education class on there. And not only that, they have a lot of resourceful information online, which you can go on there and dig yourself and hey, what causes a scratch? Why is the glass foggy after I clean it? Why does the water, create? And there's so much information on there. So that's the number one thing that helps me a lot. Besides meeting other window cleaners around the world, there's a couple of guys from Australia that we always hang out every time we get to meet out there. There's people that I get to meet that I don't even know that, but they know me from online media. That's pretty impressive. Like, man, I'm glad that you guys,
yeah,
you guys know who I am. And then, so they start asking questions, I like to be that one person that shares that information and shares knowledge, just because it's going to help them in a big way or in a small way, but you're still helping somebody improve or make things better choices in their life. Right now I'm getting a lot of requests for like bidding. How do I set my company to, be profitable? You need to know your numbers, right? You need to know your market. You need to know who you're selling to, what services, are you, there's a lot of steps in the game, but, I tell them, like, I give them simple formulas to wiggle and say, look, try to incorporate this into your current pricing. If you have an hourly rate out there, do it. If you don't, then figure something out. But man, is there anything else you guys want to throw out there as far as, or any recommendations you guys might have for other small? I know you guys 13 years in the business and we still have a lot to learn. So, things
we're learning so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to tell them about Joe? Something that we just did?
I am doing business coaching. So I hired a business coach, and it's been a couple months, and that in itself in the last couple months has just changed the way that we approach certain things and with our systems. And that's the biggest thing, is making sure your systems are in place, because if your systems are in place, then you're just gonna be, and
being honest about your systems too. It's something I think we've always been honest about our systems. We're like, okay, like we need to fix this
where your weaknesses are, and
this is what we need to do. How do we do it? And we'll try to do it. We'll do our research where we can, but we've never had anyone come in and just like take a deep dive into our business and tell
just us expose everything,
and lay everything bare.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't like it's not like a shame thing. It's more like, okay, like let's just do this. It's about time. I don't think it's a pride thing either. I just think we're just so busy and we try to figure it out. But it was finally time to hire a business coach. We've been talking about it for a long, long time. And it sort of came to us because we had been talking about it. And, the gentleman who is now coaching us, and when I say us, is Crystal meets with him, but she comes back from meetings and I'm just like, all right, so like, what did you hear? Like I had this question. Did you ask him about this? Did you ask him about that? And the great thing about it is that he's taking it really slow, which I'm glad.
Right.
He's focusing on the more important things about our systems, our pricing, our profitability, knowing our numbers.
Right.
And that's something that I thought we were doing right, and we weren't doing it right. We weren't doing it right. So he's really just sort of like woken us up.
Right.
And that's been an investment into our business. So we
absolutely. It's been huge.
Yeah.
It's been huge. So that's a big part of it is being really open and honest about your systems, and just not being scared, and just trying to find help wherever you can, even if it's through the group. I think that some of the conversations that I hear on Into the Flow are the most productive, and they're the most positive. They're
supportive.
Yeah, really supportive. I mean, I'll tell her, I was like, I like Into the Flow. I was like, people aren't getting ragged on for asking what you would say a stupid question. The stupid questions do get asked, but they need to be asked. There's people out there who really want to know, and they're starting off, and
we had those stupid questions.
Yeah, we had those. Yeah,
I mean,
and we learned if we can stop someone from having to buy someone a new slider,
right.
like we did, we would love to be able to help somebody not have to buy someone a new slider because we scratched it, right? So, and those are mistakes that we made a really long time ago, and we learned it the hard way. But if someone could be like, hey, how should I use this razor blade, or or should I, you know, when I soft wash, what should I do? Like, you know, cover all your electrical devices, all your lights. We killed plants when we started. It was a big plant, though.
It was a big plant.
It was a big plant, and it was for my buddy. We soft washed his property. He's got this really beautiful property, and he was hosting a wedding, and it was totally our fault. But we burned a huge, long bush.
It was an oversight. We were post washing, or we were post rinsing everything, but we just
forgot.
We were soft washing a deck, and it all went down. And it all led to the roots of this bush. And, you know, you don't find out until the next day, right? So I had gone back the next day to clean windows, and my buddy, he's one of my best friends. He's a great guy. He's a sweetheart, and he's got triplets. And the triplets ran up to me, and at this time they were like 2 years old, and they're like, "You burned her!" I forget how old they were. You killed our bushes. And he's like, "Shh, quiet, quiet." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he walked me back there, and it was just branches.
Wow.
Branches. I mean, my heart sank, and he was gonna have like 200 people there, like in the next few days for a wedding. And I felt terrible. So if we can help people not make that mistake, that'd be awesome. That's what's great about this group.
Yeah.
But on that, the bride did not even notice it because they painted it. Like they painted it, so they didn't even notice. She didn't even notice.
I was gonna say that. I say it's always a good idea to carry a little green spray paint can, just in case you do burn something up, which is gonna happen if it gets windy. Even that overspray. So that's why they recommend that when you have that second person down below, when you're washing a rooftop or the side of a home, wherever that overspray goes to, it's going to go touch those plants over there. So you got to make sure you continue rinse and you rinse those things till you see a puddle on top of it. You never stop.
Overdo it. We
learned, and that's the thing is we learned before it was told to us that soft washing is a 2-person job minimum.
Yes.
Minimum 2-person job.
Yeah.
And so I remember after that, they're like, this is we booked soft washing jobs, and I'm like, I'm not going to go alone. I was like, I'm not doing this alone. I was like, I need help. Someone's got to come with me. You have to make sure that we schedule that. And so that's something. And then I remember going to a Jay Racenstein meeting, and Doug's like, it's a 2-person group. And we both just looked at each other. We're like, oh, it's true.
Crystal, you get to work with me now, right?
Yay!
I'm going to be the water lady.
Yeah, that's me.
No, that's good. Going back to your you mentioned that there was a mistake where you guys replaced the sliding door.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always been afraid of, when it comes to the window, especially now, working on near glass now. Do you guys implement any type of waivers into your business?
I didn't scratch the windows. It was an employee.
It was an employee.
Oh.
So it was an oversight on me, not training him properly. Even though I had trained him properly, it was one of my oversights. I think the kid was wearing headphones, and he just didn't notice that he was doing it. So since then, we do waivers, and I pretty much don't really let anyone grab a razor blade unless they're really experienced. I trust them. I will never, if someone's starting new with us, and I put a belt system on him, I won't even include the razor blade. It's just something that they don't get to carry. They don't even get to touch. So that's what we learned from that. But yeah, we ended up buying a new spider.
So back to the IWCA, that glass education class, you guys are going to learn a lot, on that. The first thing you're going to learn is the razor blade is not the one that scratches the glass. There's a whole different theory behind that thing. And once you start learning and getting educated on that, you're going to sell to your customers, and they're going to be like, okay, well, they have the choice, because every post-construction job, you have to use razor blades. There are some chemicals out there that'll help you dissolve cement, help you dissolve glue, a goof off for that, or any type of stucco splatter or paint splatter, things like that. We have to use blades, because if not, we're going to be there for hours detailing one piece of a glass, and contractors are trying to save themselves the money because they already spend most of their money that they charge for that job. They're trying to avoid spending a lot more on the window cleaning process. So I tell my contractors that when you start a contracting job, you make sure your lead tech on your job or your supervisor has everything protected. Because if you don't want me to come out and charge you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for this job, everything needs to be covered up to eliminate detailing so much. And throughout the years, I've been with him since like 2009. He's learned. He's like, hey, well,
Yep.
you $3,000 ticket. Why is it always so much with you? Why? I said, hey, look at the quality that we're providing. We're pretty much restoring the dirtiness that the contractors you're using, or the subcontractors. Yeah, the stucco is the paint.
Everything on the framing and everything.
You know what's the worst part is the thresholds. Those things, they're brand new, and when they cover those things up in paint or cement, they're gone. They have to be replaced. Even if I restore it.
Oh, like on a French door, or
you know the newer thresholds on the bottom, they're like an aluminum type with the painted.
Yeah, like on a French door, an access door.
Yeah.
I've come across that. They're just completely covered in cement.
They're thrashed.
Yeah. And even when you're able to lift the cement off, they're I guess you can say they're
faded.
They're faded. There's just a discoloration. It's almost like just the cement is made at home on the metal,
like
and
pitted,
that
right?
top layer, that metal gets lifted off. Yeah,
exactly. And we had one of those on a new construction job in Anaheim. They invited me to come out, and I think it was the real estate broker that called me out for that. And we came out, and the first thing I looked at was those thresholds. I was like, oh my God. So I started taking pictures right away, because I said, if we get awarded this job, I need to make sure that I document, hey, we're not going to be able to restore this to 100%. We can remove it, but it's not going to look good. So if you want it to look good, replace it. Have your contractor replace it, or whoever you're using, they need to be held liable for that. Same thing with the scratches and all that. But another thing I'm backtracking to, we didn't talk about. Do you guys have employees other than you and Crystal that you guys operate?
We got one guy right now.
One guy.
In years past, we've had one or two guys.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets slow during our rainy season, I really we tailor everything back to just me.
Right.
We have some guys that understand. We have other. During the season, we can actually have 3 or 4 guys sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't fit them all in my vehicle, so I do have people travel from job to job. But it's something that we don't have one specific guy that is like me.
Right.
Like, we can't duplicate me yet, so we're working on that.
So that's another point that I can point out to you, that another little feedback. When I was I think this 2019 was the first year that I backed away from my work a lot, even though I've been working with my guys side by side for the past 10 years, 11 years. And that kind of like, they even asked, they were every morning like, hey, are you going to come work with us today? I'm like, no, not today. I got to go run some estimates. I got to do this. But because I guess they were more like afraid, because I wasn't there with them. And even though they can do the job without me, but they were so used to always me being there, talking to the customer, talking to this stuff. And every time I go out, I'm spending at least 30 minutes of the day talking to the client, catching up. I mean, we build that relationship to the point where I sometimes I forget I'm there to clean windows. We're just chatting away. Oh, would you like a drink? Or here, have a seat. Let's talk. And my guys are there, kicking butt, and they're, hey, like, are you gonna help us out? I'm like, hey, let me talk to the client. She's the one that's taking care of us, and I need to make sure that they feel comfortable, and then whatever they need to talk about, we're going to talk and we're going to discuss it. But back to my point, you being the person that's there 100%, hiring a part-timer, and I know it's hard nowadays too, to try to find that one person that's going to dedicate their full time and give you their full attention and all that. But that's going to be the helping tool for you to back away and start being able to go target other, like the Chamber of Commerce. You say you want to hit that Latino community up, that, you got to have that one reliable source. Because if not, one thing that I learned on the IWCA this year in January, I'm sorry, what are we, May? Yeah, January, we're in Savannah. Same thing, systems. I know you guys mentioned you guys were working on that. I learned the same thing, because systematically, I have everything up here. I know how everything operates, but if something happens to me today, what's going to happen to my business tomorrow? Like, who's going to run it? Who's going to, right? So I came back to, and I mean, from previous years, I've heard it. It's, I got the information, it fed me, but I just never put it out, to use. And this year, I don't know what it was, man, but that thing just hit me. I came back, got in my office, started taking notes. I started systemizing my vehicles, the equipment that's on there, everything that's in there, systemizing. Right. Same thing with, I'm working on an operational procedure on, from the minute that I get up, what's the first thing that I do to operate my business? You know, turn on the coffee machine. This is what you do. You plug it in. You do specific stands. So if something does happen to me and one of my sons decides to operate my business, here's a handbook that's going to tell you
pick it up and here you go.
Yeah, you can pretty much just read through it, and it's going to tell you what to do. The hard part is going to be the pricing, because I know most of us business owners out here are used to different things, but you guys are really going to enjoy that IWC. I guarantee you, you're going to go get in there, and I recommend both of you guys go in there and tackle it. Look at their menu of courses that they have available. They have a lot of certification classes too available for that. Manlifts, was it you or was it someone else that I was talking to regarding boom lift certification?
We got ours. Yeah.
You got yours?
Certified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else I got involved in that too. And they were like, oh, well, I don't really do it. But I said, but it's good to have it, because if you ever get a job that requires a boom lift, you're certified and you know.
We both are.
I can't recall. I think I might have reached out to you and asked you, like, where did you go? How did you do it?
Yeah.
But you know, we did the boom certification, and I'm glad we did it because.
Yeah.
Pause.
No.
What's up?
So back to the certification classes on boom lifts. You were saying that you guys got into that too?
We both are certified.
We both are certified now. It was tough because we came across jobs where we knew we were going to need it, and we would bid accordingly. And there was always that worry that we weren't going to be prepared.
Right.
So, and there's people who would say, just, you don't need a certification. You can just go rent one. And it's not who we are.
Because they'll rent you one without a certification, but that's not who we are.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we knew what we were doing. And I think the certification doesn't even give you all the information that you need. At least the one that we did was pretty thorough, but there was so much along the way that we learned. Hands-on.
Right.
And also me going into YouTube and seeing videos of other people using them and what to do. So that was
it is a whole different feeling when you're up on a boom lift. Same thing with my guys. I'm starting to getting them to have them drive the guys. I got one reliable guy that's certified and he's knowledgeable and everything, even though he can get a little confused at times. Every job that I go to, you know, and I measure out my boom lifts, I can operate them and I can squeeze them in through some tight corners without like that. And they'll spend at least a good but I let them do it, even though they spend an hour doing it, because they need to learn how to do it.
Gotta figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's where the job analysis things, you know, come into play, where you tell you guys on this sheet, here's how you're going to operate the day. This is what you need to do. Follow that and you'll be okay. But boom lifts, you need to be certified. Even I think I certified myself years after. Same thing with my my suspended scaffolding. I got that certification through what was this company's name? And we rent from them too. Not Sky Climber anymore. They're called I don't know. My mind just went blank. But I got that certification there. The next one I've been trying to do is the rope access, because I'm very familiar with ropes. I prefer to do rope work other than that. So that's another thing. And a lot of small business owners, another thing I get a lot too is that they want to get into the commercial part, but they have no experience, no knowledge. Same thing with the person in the group where they didn't want to touch commercial work because, you know, they had no familiarization with it. And I told them, then why not sub it out? You know, you make money and the sub makes money. You can have, you know, a local competitor. Hey, here's the contract. This is what I'm charging. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you what, 80%, 90%. I keep 10%, and we wear your shirts if you want, or we can go in there and wear our shirts. But we're representing you. We're not representing ourselves. And it's hard to find some contractors like that. You know, we don't subcontract a lot. When we do, they're usually small jobs that I can't go out and do. Like, hey, you know what? This is too far out for me for a minimum job. So I pass them along. And I just had a call earlier from Mission Viejo, and the first thing I thought it was you guys, because you guys are kind of close to that area.
Yeah, I mean, it's right before Orange County. It's right past Camp Pendleton.
Yeah. So they called me, and it was a minimum job, I think, based on the information she provided. So that's the first thing I thought, you know. And I've been doing that. I don't know what's going on with Google, but we've been getting a lot of calls from those areas. And I don't advertise anything past like maybe West Covina area. That's it. That's my borderline. I can go out to maybe Irvine. That's about it. But but jobs like that, we go out for commercial. Residential, not as much because, you know, the profit margin is too low for me. But yeah, we definitely grown a lot too. And then looking at you guys, you know, bumping it up, I think that'll be you guys' next step to starting getting into the commercial side a lot more. Like I said, you know, I've taught I haven't brought Lewis from Squeaky Service. He came along with me to some big projects, and we taught him, you know, the soft washing part. He's getting into the soft washing part a lot too. He bought himself a nice rig, but we learn a lot from each other. And like I said, feel free to, anytime you guys have questions, either ask it in the group or reach out to me directly. You know, I'm always available for you guys, or for whoever's watching the video. If you guys have questions, you know, pertaining to the window cleaning or based on the knowledge that I have in the soft washing part, I'm more than happy to provide you the feedback that I have when it comes to the pricing part. You know, it can be a little hard to tell you these are my numbers because, you know, even though you're on the other side of the state, but, you know, information gets out. We don't want to be, you know, but we want to keep you on a threshold where we are competitive. You know, we want to stay competitive with each other, and you know, and I think you guys are I want to say the third, if I'm not mistaken, the third company out here in California that are wearing these shirts.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. There's 4. I remember.
Fred. What about Fred Carter?
Yeah, Fred Carter's one of them.
Hi, Fred. If you're watching.
Mr. Carter.
Fred Carter.
Love you, Fred.
I'm thinking about putting him on the list for an interview too, to learn a little bit more about his pressure washing side. I gotta talk. And I just hanged out with him the other day. We went out. I needed a 3/4-inch bulkhead for one of my buffer tanks, and hey, let's go out and grab lunch. And yeah, sure did. We hanged out. But the shirts, the 4th person out here, but I think he's more in the janitorial service where he does like carpet cleaning and things like that. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was an African-American guy, really cool guy. I met him with Finprint, and Finprint, we bumped into each other in San Diego. He came out to that convention, and the way we met, we were outside of the convention area where they were going to host all of the companies that were coming out to demonstrate their products. And he just happened to roll up with a big briefcase, and he's, you know, he taps me on the back. Hey, buddy, you know where I can find the convention for, you know, for the displays? I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be right in here. Oh, thanks. So we introduced each other by name, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm Rob from Finprint. I'm like, whoa, hey, I'm Fernando. Pro Windows, because they even featured they featured me on their cover for Finprint, and they said
on the website.
Yeah, you're on their website.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, oh man, thanks, dude. That's really appreciated. And now it's because I think you're like the second. You're the second window cleaner in California that has these shirts out there, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys are number 4. I have to do a little bit more research on that, but you know, it's branding. You stand out. You feel confident wearing these things. You're walking around. You know the attention's on you, so you have to be on your best behavior. I tell my guys, hey, you guys get it, because all the eyes are on you guys. You know, the minute you look at the customer or a potential customer, these things sell for themselves, and with you can't go wrong, and they fit perfect.
Thanks.
But other than that, I mean, if there's anything else out there you guys want to point out, or we can just talk about something else. Any other points you guys think that I missed from you guys, or as far I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about after you guys attend one of those IWCA meetings, and you can.
Yeah. So the next one, you said the next one's in Vegas.
Yeah, the next one, if it doesn't get canceled. What
are the dates for that?
I think it runs between mid-January to you somewhere always in between the 3rd week of January, anywhere between the 20th to the 25th. It's about 4 to 5 days. So I was thinking on even doing like a Airbnb type thing out there, bringing the family. I'm taking my crew out there too, so I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have them go out there. I'm gonna have them go through the IWCA certification. You know, any certification classes that I can get for my guys, because it refreshes their memory on things. You know, and right. Since I'm not on the field with them a lot more, you know, they can catch up on things. Bring them into new things, you know, have them meet people from around places and interact with other people. Do, hey, well, how do you guys do this? How do you guys do that? Or, you know, we learn one thing or another. And if we don't learn, we teach. And if we can't teach, then maybe time to find another convention. Nah, it won't happen. But yeah, you guys are going to love it.
Okay.
So,
all right,
that's it. I guess It's done.
Well, we thank you guys for make sure you we thank you for joining and taking your time out of your day to share your feedback, and hopefully we get a lot of feedback on this video. And then if anybody in the viewing audience has any questions for A Better View San Diego, you're from their neighborhood, feel free to reach out to them. You can reach them through abetterview.com, or I'm not sure you guys are on Facebook. You can feel free to mention your Facebook names or something.
abetterviewsandiego.com.
A Better View San Diego.
And then we're both on Instagram. We both have a presence on Instagram. Hers is, she's got more followers.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but she has more followers and she gets a lot more likes. So yours is?
I don't even know. A Better
View.
Exterior cleaning.
A Better View Exterior Cleaning, and I'm just a Better View San Diego. I started it first. I don't know why she's got more followers, but I started it first, and I have more posts.
Mine's just more fun.
Yeah, it could be. Or maybe we can just try combing the hair to the side a little bit, or try the opposite side.
Did I put the part on this side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a little quick part on there, and go from there. But
no. Thank you for having us, Fernando.
No problem. It was my pleasure. I'm glad that we got to get a little bit more information. Now I know a little bit more about you guys, and I hope to catch up with you guys soon. But on the other hand, to all the Flomies out there, we thank you guys for taking the time watching this video. We make sure that you guys stay tuned, and any requests that you have, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And until then, you guys have a beautiful day, and we'll see you until next time.